All right, so now we're on the next assignment. Well, the same assignment, but the next stage. At this point, you should have your Bristol board paper, and you can start to use it. And this is, just so we understand we're on the same page, this is 14 by 17 inches, which is nice because it fits well on this foam core. Now, I highly recommend that you get a foam core drawing pad. Foam core isn't made as a drawing pad. Foam core is used, it's just a material that's used for multiple things. Hold on, let me just put this on the side. I'm just trying to get this out of the way so you can see what this is. Okay, so this is foam core. This is actually 2 sheets of foam board, and you can see this is just Elmer's. And looks like I taped it here, but you can, and that helps it from moving around. It also acts as a good portfolio, as you can see, because you can put drawings in there and protect them. But it's a nice drawing surface. It's clean, it's easy to work with. Now, what you're gonna do is you're gonna rip this out. And sometimes it's a pain in the butt to rip this out. So you always want to, sometimes you have to push on where the adhesive here meets the paper. Sometimes you have to push it outward. Otherwise, you'll rip the paper. But if you do your best to not bend the paper, like I just did, there we go, and rip out a nice clean sheet. That one gave me some problems, I don't know why. I'm gonna do another one. There we go. That's perfect. So maybe this was the sacrificial lamb that I had to kind of rip it out and then loosen up the adhesive there. So put that on its side. This is my nice clean sheet. This sheet here had some dirt smudges on it. I don't want to use it, but I can use that later at another time. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put this down and draw. So you could do one of 2 things. And if you just give me a moment here, you could do one of 2 things. You could rotate your drawing. Hold on a minute. You can rotate your drawing, or you can rotate your board. And what I mean by that, if you rotate your drawing, then you don't have to tape this down. But your fingerprints and smudges are going to get on it, and you want to keep this as clean as you possibly can. So what I like to use is yellow frog tape. This stuff is the best. Yellow frog tape. So it's going to get a little piece of it, but it can be annoying at certain times because it catches things. But you are going to use a ruler, and you're going to be applying the slide technique. So I just made an executive decision that we will be using this to hold down the paper. And when you apply this on, you're just trying to get the 4 corners on, but you want to make sure that this bottom part is just parallel to the base of the board as much as you can. And when I'm putting this on, I'm really pulling or pushing down on the tape, because you'll find this later on will be annoying, that sometimes your, what do you call them? Transparent triangles that you're going to purchase. Sometimes get caught. Sometimes they get caught on the yellow tape, and that's why I like to put it down or push it, adhere it better, burnish it, I think is the correct terminology. So before you do anything, what you're going to do is you're going to get your light pencil, and you're going to lightly sketch where you want this to be. And I'm going to put my center line here. And I think I wanted it right here, at least down to here. Maybe to here. And this would go here. This would go here. The reason I'm lightly sketching this in is because eventually I'm going to draw it in with a ruler, and I'm trying to figure out like placement. And this feels good to me. You can see that the distance between this corner to up there is similar to the corner to down here. And once I could probably get away with shrinking this down just a little bit and going here, or maybe moving this line over a smidge. I think if I move this line over a smidge, I'll be good to go. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, I'm happy with that rectangle. I have to make a perfect vertical line. In order to do that, you're gonna have to measure here, because everything's gonna be based off of that perfect vertical line. There's a couple tricks of the trade here that you could, in terms of you could use a T-square, much like this guy here, and you could put it at the top of your board and run it across. But to do that, you have to make sure that your paper is perfectly parallel to the top of the board. And if it's not, then you're gonna get a diagonal line every time you put a line in from your T-square. So maybe I'll do that now. It'll make things a little easier. Actually, the other way of doing it is, I'm gonna use my other pencil here so I can see, and I might need to get my glasses. If you just get a sheet of paper, I'm not even gonna use this ruler here. You get a sheet of paper and just, right here is the edge, because it's a white sheet of paper, so it's probably hard to see. But right here is the edge. I'm just gonna draw so you can see the edge. But if you put the edge right on the edge of the paper, mark exactly where this line should be. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it right on the edge of the paper here. I'm gonna mark this line. I'm gonna put it on the edge of the paper here. Mark the line. And if I connect these 2 points, I know that that is a straight line. And that's all I care about. Once that's straight, I can use that, and this is called the sliding technique. I can use that straight line. I'm gonna have to get up and turn my body. And I can line a transparent triangle with that line and make sure it's right on it. I push the weight of my body, and I'm standing now. I push the weight of my body on it, and I'm gonna run this over here, and then I can slide it, and I can make other straight lines. Now, I think I grabbed the wrong pencil. Did not mean to do that. Shouldn't have used that pink eraser, because sometimes it marks up the paper. Again, that was a bad move. Okay. All right. Now, I'm just going to stop for a second because I just noticed that it doesn't look straight to me. I think I did this too quickly, and I'm not wearing my glasses. There we go. You need these. All right, let me do this one more time. So, I'm lining this piece of paper up, and I'm going to put a line right here. Now, if that piece of paper does not line up, which it doesn't because I couldn't see before and I had the pressure of making the video, and now I can see, and now it's going to go right here. So there's going to be and this is what I want you to do. I want you to make sure that everything's right, because if this is off, everything is off. All right, now I have these 2 points. And I'll use this paper as a cheat sheet to figure out distances. I didn't measure, I didn't use a ruler. I'm gonna erase this line. Meaning using a ruler to measure. Now I'm gonna use a ruler to connect these 2 points. But before I do that, I'm gonna sharpen my pencil because the point is starting to dull out and I want this to be really sharp. Otherwise you lose that precision that you're striving for. All right, that's a perfect vertical line. And I know that because the bottom of this T-square lines up with it, or the bottom of the triangle lines up with the bottom of the paper. And I'm much happier about that. Okay, now I go back and do my trick. And yes, a T-square is probably going to be easier. So what you want to do again is you want to line this up perfectly with that orange line that I just created. And then you run this and butt it right to the bottom, but you need a lot of pressure on the triangle before you butt this in. And then you're going to switch the pressure, switch the weight to this guy so this can freely slide. And it's a really fast way to get angles and parallel lines without measuring. Super fast. And I can even flip it this way to get the other side. I think that's where I wanted it. So I have my 3 vertical lines there, and now I'm going to put in a diagonal line. And after I finish this, I'll make a new video. So I'm going to mark this right where I think right there was a good idea. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna put this diagonal line here. And remember, this is the letter Y, right? So I'm just getting this situated, and then every other line is going to be parallel to these 2 lines. And I'm going to go, oops. Okay, so that's the angle I'm going to use. And now I'm going to put this, line this long edge up. And pardon me if I'm blocking your view at the moment. I just have to look over it to make sure I'm dead on. And now I'm going to slide in this direction. Now, I kind of knew I was going to do this, so that's why I used this side here. But sometimes you're going to say, how am I going to slide over to this side? I can't figure this out. I didn't do it the way I wanted it to. That little trick I just did there was I moved this up, and then I switched my weight to this side, and I slid this over just to give me a little bit more room to get further up. So that worked out. And I'm not concerned about this one yet. I want to put this guy in, but if I slide this up there, I can't get over it on that side. So you have to kind of think a little. Maybe I can use this guy here to go over. No. Maybe I can use this guy here. Yes, that will work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up with that line so I know it's parallel to. Put my pressure down, butt this up next to it, switch my weight, slide it over, and I just get there. And that's why it's nice to have big triangles. All right, so I've got that side done. And what I'm going to do is I might even just flip my board and just do the other side. I don't need this while I have it. So this, I want to go down here, but I think it's easier if I use this guy and then I slide down. That will work. Okay, so I'm going to line this up perfectly. Put my pressure on there. I'm doing this quickly, but you really have to take your time and make sure it's right. I'm going to go down about there. Good. And I'm going to take this guy, put my weight on it. Oh, it kind of misses, right? So if I were over here, it would hit it. Yep, that's good. I'm gonna take this guy. And slide down. Perfect. I got right where that corner I wanted to be. And there you go. We have ourselves a parallel line drawing of a rectangle. It's somewhat centered. It's a little bit bigger on this. I mean, the space here is bigger on that side than this side. And this seems to be even. This is, I'm okay with that because it's kind of facing this direction. So that's fine with me. So we'll break this down. That will be in another video. And let me know if you have any questions.